come aboard the magical tour bus. And by tour bus, I mean just watch this video. You don't have to leave the home or put pants on. Hello Doodlebugs, it's Mary and it's a sketchbook tour video. Back due to popular demand, I'm gonna take you through my sketchbook that I brought with me on a trip to Europe this last fall. Sort of like vacation photos, but in drawing form. All right, let's dive in. This particular sketchbook is from Moleskine. I like the size of it. It's compact, it's small, it fits in purses. I love doing inner cover art. I always make it a goal to make this first inner cover something that pops. And I really got this sketchbook in the beginning of October. I took a trip to Las Vegas for the Improv Goblet Festival. I spent some time sitting on the balcony sketching and drawing people that I saw by the pool. It's a really fun practice to do these quick sketches of people. All of them were in motion, just walking by. It forces you to focus mainly on the gesture and the very basics of the people. There's not a whole lot of detail, but you still get a sense of the kind of character they are, like the guy wearing his socks by the pool. And after Vegas, I was hanging out at the airport when I made these. That's a fun thing about sketchbooks too, is you kind of get memories of where you were when you made these drawings. I'd reached out on Twitter asking what I should draw on the plane. One of my favorite responses was, you should draw a plane crash. So this is obviously a gorilla punching out an airplane that's crashing into what appears to be Dante covering Dave Matthews. And then there was another suggestion. I forget what exactly the tweet was, but it was requesting a happy story in space involving the same gorilla. So I have this astronaut proposing. So I first spent a week in Berlin with my friend Sula. You're gonna see a lot of her throughout the sketchbook. We'd have lunch or breakfast or dinner and we'd just sit down and she'd start journaling and I would start sketching things. So she's one of those many things I've sketched. Had some drinks, favorite drawing of a Negroni. Some more sketches, a lot more of Sula. I was trying to draw her in different styles because likenesses kind of intimidate me. So I was trying to just approach drawing her in a different way every single time. Some more sketches from hanging out at a bar. And when you're doing sketches in your sketchbook, feel free to make them terrible and unfinished. Here is a figure sitting on a stool. It's very abstract. But the idea is that you're quickly jotting down the basic shape. I think too often we get hung up with details and making it look perfect. And really it helps us step back and just do something quick and do something broad and a little sloppy. These are some more sketches from hanging out. So we were in Berlin for the Epic Rap Battles of History. They were playing a show. We're trying to get over the jet lag. Get over it and get up early at a reasonable time. That didn't happen a lot. We would wake up and the sun would be low in the sky. We would think, oh, we finally got up early, only to find out that it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That didn't stop us from hitting up some cafes. Barista, that was a barista of ours. More Sulai. We were sitting out. This was before the rap battle show. Found a little coffee shop and had a Glühwein, which is a warm mulled wine. Perfect weather for it too. This was at the show. Sulai's journaling from Backstage. And I did a very quick sketch. Again, when I'm talking about gesture sketches, it can be abstract and lame like this one. This was Lloyd and then DJ Porchlight, Mike, before the show, hanging out. Mike doing some work on his laptop. Unfinished art is still very valuable. This is my interpretation of what happens when it rains in Los Angeles. If it rains in Los Angeles. No one ever knows if it rains in Los Angeles. We think it does, but that could just be one big hopeful hallucination. After Berlin, I ended up in Dresden. My little brother lives there. This was from a restaurant in Old Town, looking over this big giant plaza, and it was perfect for people watching. And I was trying to capture the basic posture and the basic shapes, not even getting the full details, but you know, it's a good exercise in getting these snapshots of characters. Really liked this gal, had just like great style, as did her. She really stood out. I loved her hair. I really enjoyed this little moment, and this is where, again, drawing people from real life can help influence your characters, especially if you're cartooning. There's a woman pushing her stroller, and this little girl just had her hand on the stroller like she was helping. It's just a little moment that I probably wouldn't have thought of if I was just making it all up in my head. These pages were done in between Dresden and Vienna. I hopped on a bus, got a lot more of the countryside. I was also, at the time, this was in October, so I was doing Inktober. The challenge is to make an ink drawing every day. So I was trying to do stuff, get away from the figure sketches and the studies, but also just do some more straight on illustrations, really switching it up. The guy sitting next to me, I did this like weird Princess Mononoke kind of character. He was kind of glancing over like, okay. Going from Dresden to Vienna, you go through the Czech Republic, and this was a little town that we'd stopped in. I like this guy. I don't think I ever posted this one on Instagram. I should do that, because this is one of my favorite kind of character things that I came up with. And the fur, it's all just like a bunch of little lines. Again, I was on the bus, so I needed something to do, and just drawing little lines and hatching can be really fulfilling sometimes. So most of the pens I was using were Micron pens, and these markers are Sakura. They're like a brush-tipped marker, so it comes to a nice little point, and I was just playing with color and figuring out arrangements and color schemes. And from Vienna, oh yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time in Vienna. I only had 2 nights there watching the Edward Rap Battle show, and from there I went to Budapest, and this is all on the train. Somewhere in the middle there are these windmills. Train doodles, kind of getting some dark vibes here. I was also taking notes of things to do, so Palinka, drink Palinka. That was on my to-do list, and I did it. Also drank some Aperol Spritz. There may be some sketches of Aperol Spritz in here at some point. And Sulai again. More sketches. Got some more figure drawings. I did a lot of figure drawings on this trip, so I'm very proud of myself. This was at a nightclub our Airbnb host recommended. This saxophone player was incredible, and she had the greatest look. Here's a little preliminary doodle of a time-lapse video that I made in Budapest. But in the final drawing, the rooftop that I used was a rooftop that you could see from our window where we were staying. It was right across the street. Budapest. And then these markers, so these gray tones are Faber-Castell is the company, I believe, and they sell these beautiful markers. I got a set of cool grays and warm grays, and kind of playing with those to create a very rough sketch. These shapes are not perfect, but it's just giving you the impression of what that building was. And we got some more Inktober darkness and Sulai in our apartment. This was the Airbnb we were staying at. She's journaling, I'm drawing her, not much has changed. We also had tea. And there's that Aperol Spritz. Sitting at cafes, drawing my drinks, doodling, line art. That's always a good go-to. If you never know what to draw, just do some random patterns, some intricate little patterns. And I'll leave you at this page about halfway through the sketchbook. You got a nice little Inktober drawing and the petting zoo of horror. Sometimes I'll start drawing a character and then that leads into something, and then giving titles, giving very Edward Gorey style titles, that all of a sudden that will bring it all together, and suddenly I have an idea that I want to implement and turn into a book or a short comic at least. And that's kind of how ideas develop. A little demon character, and then it turned into another, and then I was seeing this like theme. I was wanting to draw animals that are kind of like normal animals but weird. Happy birthday balloon, because you know, little kid's dead. That's what happens at the petting zoo. And that is part 1 of the sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's inspiring. Like I said, I'm going to be scanning these and trying to get these images online as soon as possible. I'll probably post a blog post on my website with all those, but there will be links in the description below, so you can check that out. If you want to see other sketchbook tours, I will have a link to a sketchbook tour playlist popping up here. And otherwise, there'll be my time-lapse videos as always. So if there's something you want to see me draw or paint in the future, leave a comment below. I love getting your suggestions. Thank you very much, dear Doodlebugs, for watching. And until next time,